take a look at some of these stat leaders, both team and individual, from around college football, and you'll see some common themes here. So scoring offense, well, look at that. Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson. Offense matters, right?
It certainly does, Tom. Utah State out of control up there, 50 points a game.
They got some good players, that quarterback too.
It's funny when you look back halfway through the season, maybe like 5-6 weeks into the season, Tom, you had Ohio State and Penn State as your leaders in points scored, and they have tumbled way out. Penn State barely scored at all this past week. Ohio State struggling. They're going to be on the bottom half of this top 10, still inside the top 10, but UCF, Memphis, Syracuse, Texas Tech, who's playing pretty good ball, gave Oklahoma some fits, and then Ohio State there. Rounding out your top 10 scoring offenses in college football, Tom, let's take us to total offense by yards, and of course.
Again, some similar themes there. Alabama's in there, Oklahoma's up there, UCF, Houston, Ohio State, all inside those top 5 there. Ole Miss is a fun number 6 there, James. That passing attack, even without DK Metcalf, has put up great numbers this year. And then again, Memphis, Texas Tech. No surprise. Look at all those Big 12 schools, right?
Yeah, Clemson's the one on this, Tom. If you look at their schedule, I mean, Boston College could give them some action, but I think Clemson will end up inside the top 5 just based on what they're doing. Trevor Lawrence playing well, their backups playing well, and they just have a litany of running backs who are getting 75, 80, 100. Where they have like 3 guys, maybe more, get 100 yards of offense this past week versus Louisville. Yeah.
And then Chase Bryce actually threw more yards than Trevor Lawrence. Louisville's garbage. Passing offense, well, no surprise. Washington State, Texas Tech lead the way. The more things change, James, the more things stay the same with those types of offenses. OSU's up there, Ole Miss. Bama doing things that they typically don't do. They're throwing the ball with immense success this year behind Tua. And then some more typical high-powered passing attacks. West Virginia this year under Dana Holgorsen. Purdue there at number 7. North Texas, led by Mason Fine, actually putting up really good numbers. NC State at number 9, and then Boise State also at number 10. Some very potent passing attacks there. And then your rushing leaders, James, and again, this all just, it makes almost too much sense, right? Georgia Tech, Army, Navy, some triple option offenses there. Wisconsin with Jonathan Taylor, and UCF rounds out that top 5. Then into some of the other top 10 programs here, you've got Memphis. You mentioned Clemson and that ground game that ran for that 3 guys over 100 last week against Louisville. They're there at number 7. How about UAB, by the way? Bill Clark, Coach of the Year, give it to me, especially because they got the number 1 scoring defense, James.
They do, Tom.
Rank UAB, committee. Make it happen.
Mississippi State there, tie for number 2, Tom, is surprising, as we all know we don't like Mississippi State here at Chat Sports.
Fresno, and maybe a surprise tied for 2nd there as well. Clemson could be an option, or a great defense. You like to tout that Michigan defense. So if you're looking for a team that could take down Bama, I think you're looking at that 4 and 5 because those defenses are so good.
Can't shut down Tua. But Tom, take a look at the bottom half of scoring defense here, and you will see a lot of SEC schools, Alabama, Kentucky, and the team that Alabama will play in the SEC title game, Georgia. Number 10, 16.5 points a game. That's going to be an interesting matchup, Tom, because Alabama basically scores at will. Only scored 29 only against LSU in a blowout fashion, but can they score 30-plus on Georgia? Could Georgia keep up with them? Could they win maybe a 35-31 a game, just like the College Football Playoff National Title game last year? Tom, the Michigan Wolverines, number 1 in total defense, 216, which is crazy. I'm going to tout the Wolverines here for a second. There is a bigger gap between 1 and 2, number 2 Miami, than number 2 and number 10 San Diego State coming up here, right?
That's notable.
That's insane. Mississippi State, Southern Miss, Iowa, who will not play Michigan in the Big Ten title game if those teams went out. They had an interesting week. App State.
They went Iowa.
Yeah, resurgent to App State. And then San Diego State, Tom, the Aztecs, coming in at number 10. Let's take a look at passing defense. You can see Michigan and Miami again. Kind of a theme. Those are the best defense in the country in total. And, of course, passing. It's a passing league, Tom. It's a passing sport. Central Michigan, UAB, and App State. Kick over to the bottom half.
We got 2 cardinal directional Michigans in here.
Awesome. Nice. Temple, Mississippi State, Eastern Michigan, Tom, Cincinnati, your hometown, and then Southern Miss. Those are your statistical passing defense leaders in America. Let's take a look at the rushing defense. The Michigan State Spartans. They've been number 1 for a while, Tom. That one is surprising. They're holding that on. Texas A&M, who lost again. They're up to 4 losses now, which is surprising. Iowa, you see there, rounding out our top 5. You flip it over to the bottom half of the top 10 for rushing defense. Again, Clemson and Michigan. We saw the defenses in total defense. We saw them in passing defense, and then of course we see Clemson and Michigan again here in rushing defense. Both teams up under 100 yards a game. Tom, Army and then Utah rounding out the top 10. And